Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 16th to the 22nd of January 2017. We have quite a complex week this week. There's lots of relatively small aspects going on, but all at the same time. First of all, we have all planets going direct. Now, some people translate this as get out there, be active, get going, get doing. But that's not necessarily the case, because we're still coming out of the winter Mercury retrograde phase, and that won't be over until the end of January, when we also have the new moon in Aquarius, which starts the new Chinese year as well, the year of the fire rooster. So we're still hanging out with the fire monkey. We've had a year of surprises, that's for sure. And we're still very much wrapping up what's happened there. So although the planets are all going direct, this can still be quite a quiet time, quite a centered time, and one of inner reflection. So to start with, on the weekend of the 14th and 15th, we have the Sun square Jupiter. So the Sun in Capricorn square Jupiter in Libra. Now a square is often an awkward angle. It's where the two planets are not seeing eye to eye, where they both need to be respected for themselves and a compromise needs to be struck. So the Sun in Capricorn is all about our roots, it's all about our centre, it's all about our authenticity and our deep inner wisdom. And Jupiter in Libra is all about expanding and flowing and liberating. So we need to have a look at the Sun first to see where our roots are supporting us, or where we've become rooted in an old belief system or an old pattern which is no longer relevant. So the deconstructive nature of Capricorn is being vitalized by the Sun now, saying take your energy but make sure it's refreshed, renewed, revitalized, and that you're a bit freer, you're not too static, you're not too calcified in the old ways. So allow some of that to break down, allow that sense of liberation to come through from letting go, so that Jupiter's got that room to expand into, where we can take that authenticity, make it our mastery, our sovereignty, and then expand into the space that we've cleared. So this aspect's going on all week, but especially strong on the weekend of the 14th and 15th. There's lots of creativity around this week, so maybe have a look at going back to the root of your art. What's the message? What are you standing up for? What are you actually pronouncing? Because for Jupiter to flow with that lovely Libran energy to create, then where are we creating from? Go back to the heart of that with this Sun-Jupiter square. And have a look, are you just being creative because it feels nice for the sake of creating? Are you creating from a place of habit? You've always done this kind of artistry, so just keep doing it, but has the message been forgotten? Has the motivation left a little bit as we just become productive? And can we get back to what's the message, what we're actually saying through our creativity? So that's the feeling for Monday and Tuesday. Because when we go back to the motivation, we can get rid of the shoulds, the responsibilities, the I have tos, the I always have done it this ways, and have a look at where those aren't serving us anymore. So this is a very psychological aspect that we're under, and if we've believed an idea for too long, it can become calcified, it can become a mental prison, a habitual prison. So if we want to break out of that prison, we need some self-examination. Many of our thoughts that we get trapped into, it's because we've become addicted to the emotion and the chemicals that it triggers in our body. So we get used to that flow, and sometimes I even meet people that when life gets too calm, they'll do something just to have that energy boost, just to have that addictive reaction, almost sabotage, if you will. So liberation comes from looking at our own patterns. Do we have our own biorhythms? Do we notice that we actually trigger our own lives in order to feel that response, in order to have that excitement, as it were? And if that's not serving us, then it's time to go. So habitual beliefs that are no longer serving us do need to be released while the Sun is energizing in Capricorn. So introspection is the theme of Tuesday, having a look at those patterns, having a look at where we trigger ourselves, where we enjoy the ride, where we're being thrill seekers in a way, but is that actually serving us, and can we look at those patterns and start to unpick them? so that we've got some space to move into. By Wednesday, Mars squares Saturn. So the theme of this one is power, authority and leadership. And I feel that we need to look at that and what they mean to us first. We've had a lot of political activity in 2016, and people talk about people being in power and the authorities and the leaders, and yet you have to be your own power, authority and your own leader first, because there's nobody that's in power over you or has their authority or their majesty over you. You have to be self-led. So with Mars squaring off in Saturn, we have Mars in Pisces square Saturn in Sagittarius, another square, which is awkward, but Mars says look to your own spiritual inner knowing before you give away your power to those that are telling you who you should be or what you should do or even how you should be or how life should be or how you should lead your life. Can you go in with that Mars spiritual warrior and reclaim your spiritual sovereignty in Pisces? This is also the last day of Capricorn, so we're rounding up all of the Capricorn energy, but this has almost started in early December as we headed into the retrograde phase, which is a very long phase where we go forwards and backwards and forwards again with Mercury. So we can go back to the beginning of December and see where we've taken our power back, see where we've become our own authority. And there's been a lot of learning about self-worth in that process as well. So by Thursday the Sun goes into Aquarius. And where Scorpio takes us into the underworld, in late October, November, Aquarius brings us out the other side. This is the beginning of spring. This is when the first signs of life were seen to return to the planet. And a very electrifying, vibrant energy. Aquarius is all about purification and fresh vision, because as we see life returning to the planet, we don't want to just keep repeating everything that we did in the last cycle. We want to have a clear vision of how, now purified, we can step forwards and create a better place. So that's the humanitarian aspect of Aquarius, saying where are we heading in the next cycle. Aquarius understands the law of frequency, so our emotions are often connected to our thoughts, and when we clean those up, we raise our level of consciousness, we raise our frequency, and our life becomes better as a result of that. And then after that, Aquarius says, and we have a collective frequency, so if everybody takes care of their own, then as we come together as a group, that raises the group field as well. So there's a sense of independence, not falling into the group, not following, being very independent. There's a sense of rebellion as we let go of things that have been put upon us that weren't for our greater good, or things that we've started to get calcified into that no longer serve us. As we let go of those, we step into a higher field. We step into being responsible for ourselves and our frequency, raising that frequency and coming together as a group. So the zigzags of Aquarius are all about the law of vibration and how when we raise up our level, we actually attract better into our world and add to the collective field. By Friday, we're returning to Wednesday's musing about Mars squaring Saturn, power, authority and leadership. And now we're looking at what those mean for us as society. So very lovely combination here. If we do the work on ourselves on Wednesday, and then we step into the electrical frequency of raising our vibration, being self-responsible on Thursday, then we have a look at, so what's that creating in the world? So a lot of feeling this week about personal power, authority and leadership, and then if we all take responsibility for our own, then where does that actually take us as a society? How can we come together in groups to be and live in a more empowered way? And then by the weekend this wraps up back into the creativity. So therefore now I know myself, now I know my message. Let me create from a higher vibration. Let me value my talents and my resources. And let me create from a sense of gratitude and centeredness. So really very self-empowering week. If we take all of that on board, our creativity, our message, our power and our vision, and then start to create from that space, then this is very much a week where we can step up and we can raise our level of consciousness. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week. If you'd like a reading to see where this energy is happening personally for you, then I am available on Skype or in Camden. Or if you'd like to learn more about astrology for yourself, then I have a private online subscription group. I have online courses, and I have a number of gift packs as well, which will teach you more about your sign. So for any of that, please do contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com.